Hello everyone, STL Puckhead, Bill back here with another video. So once again, my apologies for missing last week's video. Everything's been crazy so far this spring with baseball and school and all that stuff. So I'm back with another one today. Today I want to show you a couple cards I recently got in the mail, and then I'm going to show you my vintage Hall of Fame baseball card collection. I think I've got about a dozen cards pulled out for you. Most of my money, since I have switched to more of a focus on vintage cards, as most of you know, have been going toward my 1960 top set. So I don't have I don't have a whole lot of vintage baseball cards that are graded that are not with the 1960 top set. So I'm going to show you what I do have today. And keep in mind, I haven't been collecting vintage cards for a really long time, and a lot of these cards aren't really super valuable or anything. I just think they're cool cards, hence why I bought them and added them to my collection. So first I'll show you my recent pickups. These cards came in the mail the other day, and then once I show you those, I'll go into the vintage cards. So hang on a second and I'll flip this around. I'll be right back with you. All right, everybody. I'm back for the second part of the video. So I wanted to get, first I wanted to start off with my recent pickups. So I've got a couple of Ken Griffey Jr. cards here. So I have a lot of this card, but I've never had it graded. So I picked this one up recently in PSA 9. It was pretty cheap on eBay. So I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and pick it up. I think I paid about 20 bucks for it. It's pretty good grade in a 9. You don't see these graded in 9s and 10s very often because they were just such poorly produced cards. But I've always liked this card a lot. This is right kind of in the peak of my pack ripping back in the day. And then the second one, I thought this was a really cool pickup. I never opened any of these back when Bowman's Best first came out. I think this is actually the first year they made them in '94. I may be wrong in that because, like I said, I couldn't really afford them. These and Topps Chrome and Topps Finest were so expensive back then. I couldn't really afford any. So this is the Bowman's Best Ken Griffey Jr. red foil in PSA 9. It's pretty much the same as the Mike Trout card that I showed on my last video, his 2011 Bowman's Best. I just thought this was a really cool card. So that's it for the recent pickups. Again, I think I paid about 50 bucks for total for those two cards. So I'm going to show you some of my vintage Hall of Famer cards. Like I said, these are the non-1960 set cards that I have in my collection. And again, there's not a lot, and a lot of them aren't worth a whole lot of money, but I just thought they were cool cards. So here's a 54 Bowman Enos Slaughter. I bought this a while ago on eBay. I think I paid like 30 bucks for it. I just think it's a cool card. And I mean, he's a Cardinal and he's a Hall of Famer, so one I'm happy to add to my collection. Here's one I showed recently in a video. This was a recent card show pickup. 1967 Roberto Clemente. I just thought it was in really good condition for a 5. And then I'm also working on an Ozzie Smith player run, and this is a 1980 Topps Ozzie Smith. So secondly, or technically, I guess it still counts as vintage from 1980. That's what I consider really to be the last year of vintage cards. But I love Ozzie Smith. I think I have about 12 or 15 of his cards right now toward his run. Here in a bit, I'll show you a rookie card of his. So these next cards are PSA. So this is, or SGC. So this is actually my most recent pickup. Again, I got this from Chris from Missouri and just thought it was in really good condition. These 71 Topps cards are, you know, very condition sensitive with the black borders. Everybody knows that. I just thought this looked really good in the tux and was in really good condition. So these next few cards were in my first, I think all of them were in my first SGC submission I ever made myself. if not my first two for sure. But here's a 64 Topps Hank Aaron. I bought this at a card show here in town and sent it in to get graded. It came back as a 4. I just thought it was really sharp. It's kind of diamond cut a little bit, but this is one of the few Hank Aaron cards that I actually own, so it was a good price. I thought it was in good condition, so I went ahead and picked it up. So this next one I've had for a long time. I bought it back in Colorado, ungraded at that card shop in Colorado Springs, and sent it in to get graded. It came back a 7. I think I paid about 20 bucks for this, and then $30 grading fee. So I've got about $50 into this card, and that's about what it's worth. But I really like Nolan Ryan, and at some point would like to do a Nolan Ryan player run. But I just thought this was a really good condition card, and I'm happy with 70s cards that come back graded as a 7. I'll take those all day. And then here is probably my coolest vintage card I currently have that is not part of my 1960 Topps set. Here's a 62 Carl Yastrzemski in an SGC 7. And again, I bought this at a card show in Columbia. It was actually the first vintage card that I had bought once I got back into collecting. But I wasn't really focused on vintage at this point. I just thought this was a really good condition card. I paid 40 bucks for it, ungraded, 30 bucks to get it graded, and it came back as a 7. I'd probably value this in the $200 or $300 range, and I'm just really happy to have it. I thought it was amazing, and I was so excited when it came back with a 7 on it. But regardless, it's just a really sharp, really well-conditioned card for a 1962. You know, this wood grain shows, you know, any tipping or chipping or anything like that shows up pretty well on these cards too. And just looking at it with the naked eye at a card show, I thought it was in really good condition. So I'm happy to have this one. I still need to add his rookie card for my 1960 Topps set. Hopefully that's the next you know, kind of big pickup I make. But like I told you, we're in the process of buying a house right now, so my budget has, you know, kind of shrank until we're done with that. This was a pickup I made a while back off eBay. Carlton Fisk rookie card, the original Pudge. It was just cheap, and I didn't have it. And so I came across this one and decided to go ahead and grab it. This one I may upgrade at some point for a 7. But for the price I paid for this, I can't really complain. Here's another one I got from Chris here recently. 77 Topps Andre Dawson in a 7. I always liked these cards for some reason, the 77 Topps set. One of the earliest vintage cards I got back when I was in high school was a Nolan Ryan 77 Topps, and his record breaker that also went in that set. So they've always just kind of had a special place in my heart since then. Here's my Ozzie Smith rookie. This was a pickup quite a while ago from Chris at a card show. This one's a BVG 6.5. This is definitely a candidate to upgrade at some point. It's got a diamond cut to it. But again, the price was right. I saw it there, so I went ahead and picked it up. But Ozzie Smith's one of my favorite all-time players as a Cardinals fan. And, you know, I grew up right in the prime of Whitey Ball. So Ozzie Smith was really kind of where it was at for us in St. Louis back in those days. And then these next two I'm going to show, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them because I've already shown them in a previous video. I dedicated a video to these two by themselves. Here's the Connie Mack's all-time All-Stars, Trish Speaker and Christy Mathewson, both authentic. But in that video, I talk about happy accidents in the hobby, and this was definitely a happy accident that I couldn't pass up once I saw them. I just thought they were so cool. And my co-instructor still has the, I think it's a Brooklyn Dodgers in an SGC4. I sent them into grade for him. And what was the other one? White Sox in an SGC3 from the 51 Topps team cards that I would like to pick up from him one of these days. But that's it. Those are all my current vintage graded Hall of Famers that are not part of my 1960 Topps set. So I hope you liked the video. Thanks for sticking around. If you've stayed for the whole video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm currently at 91 subscribers and I'm trying to hit 100. So please, if this is your first time coming across my channel, please throw this video a like and subscribe to the channel. And until then, excuse me, happy Easter everyone, and I will see you on the next one.